Hello everyone. My name is Peter. Welcome to the true stories being shared here. Please sit back and listen to today's story. Fiancée comes out as bisexual after attending a wedding alone. Betty, 27F, and I, 30M, got engaged in January after dating for a few years. Our plan was to get married next year after we saved up enough money for the wedding. Not long after getting engaged, we moved in together at the end of January. In May, Betty served as a bridesmaid for one of her friends, and I couldn't attend because of work and the fact that it was a 5-day trip. Betty had a great time reconnecting with some old friends, but a few weeks after she returned, she became withdrawn and distant. I was relieved when she scheduled an appointment with a therapist because she still hadn't opened up to me about what was bothering her. After about 5 or 6 sessions, one Saturday morning, she asked me to sit down so we could talk. Betty grew up in a very conservative family and had to suppress her desires until she moved out to attend college. Even then, she denied and refused to accept certain ideas. At the wedding, she was introduced to the wife of one of her college girlfriends, and that rekindled a lot of repressed desires during the days they hung out before the wedding. She told me that she felt attracted to women romantically and sexually as well as men, and she realized that she was bisexual. I told her that I was glad she finally felt safe enough to share this with me, and that it didn't change how I felt about her. It was a very emotional moment. She asked me how I felt about her exploring her sexuality now that it was out in the open. I said I was willing to explore it with her, and suggested the possibility of a threesome with another woman, so she could have that experience. She wanted to have her own experience with another woman and felt that she couldn't do it with me present. I told her that it sounded more like cheating and that I wasn't comfortable with it. I asked if she wanted to call off the wedding and maybe separate while she figured out what she wanted to do. She insisted that wasn't what she wanted and that she still loved me very much and wanted to get married, but she felt she had to explore the feelings she was having before we settled down together. I asked her if she had done anything inappropriate at the wedding, and if she had cheated on me. I asked if she had thought about someone else or had been talking to someone since she got back. She admitted that she had danced with a girl at the reception, and they kissed at the end of the night, but nothing else happened. But she denied talking to anyone or planning anything in advance. She knew this was a lot to dump on me at once, and she didn't expect an immediate answer. She just asked me to keep an open mind and keep talking about it. I couldn't promise anything, but I agreed to do some research and talk to a coworker who has an open marriage to see how they manage. I warned her that if I found out she lied or did anything behind my back, there wouldn't be a second chance and I would walk away. My coworker was very helpful and open about their relationship. My brother put me in touch with a support group that helped me come to terms with the changes in our relationship. I'm reading my second book and sat down with Betty on Thursday night to check in and talk about moving forward. I found us a couples therapist, handed her the book I'd finished, and suggested we postpone the wedding for 6 months and then decide if this is still the path we want to take. I was on a roll when she stopped me and asked if I intended to date other people, saying it never crossed her mind that I would date as well. After that, she went almost completely silent, barely answering a word when I asked her anything. The longest response I got was, "I just don't know." She's been like that for 24 hours now, like she's lost in a fog. I'm just bracing myself for the inevitable emotional fallout. I thought she'd be happy that I was considering opening up our relationship. Addition, my brother came out as gay when I was 16, and my parents were very supportive, so I grew up in a very different household from my girlfriends. Sorry, the second half of my post was written much later than the first half, and after a few drinks. Reading it back, it's clear I should have waited until this morning to post. My bad. Update. On Saturday night, the fog lifted, and things got pretty heated. She said that an open relationship was my way of punishing her and getting revenge by dating other women. She was just begging for a little grace to explore her feelings. I responded that she didn't seem to have any remorse for cheating on me, but instead expected a hall pass to do it again. I told her that our friends had told me that she asked them not to say anything about what happened at the wedding, so I might never know the full truth and would have to accept that things were worse than she was admitting. I asked if she thought it was fair to go sleep with other people while I waited by the door like a lovesick puppy, expected to wag my tail when she decided to come home and pay me some attention. Then things got worse, and we both said some hurtful things. In the end, I gave her 3 options if she wanted to move forward. Monogamy, postpone the wedding and go to couples therapy. No experimenting. When we're in a good place, continue planning the wedding with a prenup to protect me if she changes her mind and or cheats again. Open relationship, we both date whoever we want, and she can figure out her sexuality on her own. In about a year, we can see if marriage is still a good option if we're still together. Total separation, she moves out, and we each live our lives however we see fit. If when she decides she wants to be monogamous with me and I haven't moved on, we can try option 1. But that would be a fresh start, not just picking up where we left off. She decided she needed some space to think things over and would stay with friends for a few days. I told her before she left that if she cheats while she's away, don't come back except to get the rest of her stuff. This morning I got a message from her, "I'm so sorry." She didn't respond when I asked what she meant by that, and my call went to voicemail. I'm not going to reach out again, and I'll wait for her to contact me when she's ready. Update, August 18, 2024. Previously, my fiancé came out as bisexual and had hooked up with a woman at her friend's wedding. On Wednesday, Betty went to her previously scheduled therapy appointment and told her therapist what had happened between us. I'm not sure exactly what was said, but she called me on the way to her friend's house to apologize for some of the things she'd said and wanted to come home to talk. I told her to stay at her friend's house that night and think about what she wanted, and she could come home on Thursday, and we could sit down and work things out. On Thursday, we met at home and talked over dinner. We both apologized for losing our tempers and saying things that were unfair to each other. After talking with her therapist and having several conversations with her best friend over the past few days, she decided not to explore her bisexual urges. The idea of a truly open relationship where I was free to sleep with others terrified her, and getting married was more important than chasing rainbows. Her initial idea was just a free pass to see if she was missing something in life and how important that was to her. I asked her what her request for a one-night stand meant, just dating a woman or having a full-on relationship. She couldn't tell me exactly what she wanted. I said it sounded like infidelity and wasn't very fair. She agreed, and that's why she gave up on exploring those feelings. Next, she brought up the papers I'd sent to cancel the save-the-date announcements for our wedding. She said she'd been getting all kinds of calls about what happened and initially didn't know what they were talking about. She was upset that I did that without talking to her first. I reminded her that she dropped 2 grenades in my lap, coming out as bisexual and cheating on me, then took off and didn't talk to me except for the cryptic, "I'm so sorry," followed by silence. While I never said anything other than that we had issues and had to postpone the wedding, there was obviously speculation that she had cheated on me. She pivoted and said that we could still get back on track and get married next spring. No, because now when either of us is away, my mind will be back to you cheating, especially after coming out and wanting an affair to explore your sexuality. I said maybe after couples therapy, we could get to a good place again, but not by the end of the year, and it would be foolish to start planning and making financial commitments before we know if therapy will work. Also, I want a prenup before getting married to protect everything I bring into the marriage and my future retirement savings. Plus, she'd lose any equity if we bought a house. When she protested, I said if you plan to be faithful and not change your mind later, it should never be an issue. Just something to give me a little peace of mind. That's an ongoing conversation we've been having for the past few days. Betty wants to move past what happened at the wedding and proceed with our wedding. In her view, exploring her sexuality isn't worth sacrificing our relationship. For now, we're back together and planning to start counseling soon. In a moment of clarity, I realized that I rushed into accepting the idea of an open relationship to allow Betty the freedom to explore her new feelings, and now I'm not willing to consider that option. I think breaking up is a better choice, splitting up until we both figure out our future path and whether it's together or not. It's not what I want, but I also don't want to spend 3 to 5 years together only for her to change her mind one day or cheat on me. We've scheduled counseling to see what's best for us. Until we completely resolve this, we won't be getting married. I don't want to face infidelity or her wanting to prolong the marriage years down the road and then possibly divorce.